I'm just not feeling doing any videos. I don't know why. Like the videos that I would be up for doing are kind of gun videos and on camera for whatever reason. And I'm trying not to do too many of those. I'd really rather do more audio only shit, but like for whatever reason, I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I think half of it has to do with I switched back to disposable weed vapes from carts, and I don't know. I think there's something up with weed. Like they're doing something to it. I don't know exactly what. They're changing shit here in Oklahoma, and I haven't been able to get really, really, really good shit here. Like when I say good shit, I mean a distillate for your vape pen that is, you know, 98% plus THC. That's what I used to get here all the time. I had to spend some money to get that, but that's what I got, and I got good shit. And nothing else hits like good shit. That kind of sucks. But I got a cart of some pretty damn good shit the other day, and it was amazing for like a week. And this stuff I have now, I think just strain wise, isn't something I like. Like this is the whole thing with weed is that no one talks about the fact that like what you smoke matters. Most people are so out of touch with themselves that they don't even get that different strains of weed do different things. Uh, Sativas, indicas, and hybrids all do very different things, and the hybrids are the ones I find the most interesting because depending on the hybrid, it can do very different things. And the thing you should realize is that most weed is a hybrid now, like all of it really. What they're calling sativa or indica are just indica dominant, sativa dominant hybrids. But you can tell a big difference between those and the true hybrids that are, I don't even know. There's some science that went into making them, I think. Super weed. That's what I would call the hybrids. I'm an indica fan, usually. Indica is like this nice, relaxing, full body high that you kind of just melt into the universe. That's what I like. Sativa is like this very head rushy high that like you're up and wanting to do things. It's fun. And what's really best is the mix. And that's hybrid. And the other option is to smoke some of both. I'd rather just smoke hybrid, I think. My favorite strain is Pineapple Express, believe it or not. It's a really good strain. Like they made that and then named it after the movie, and they made a good strain. They crossed like Maui Wowie and something. I uh, I don't know if smoking weed is a good idea or not. To be honest, I enjoy it, and I think for doing like my radio show and shit, and thinking about some of the things I think about, it opens my mind to new possibilities, and I like that. I had memory issues for a minute with it, but I actually don't think that was related. I want to do a separate video on that. I think I had something wrong with my brain that basically I cured through doing crazy shit. Fuck, let's talk about that here now. I don't know exactly what I had wrong with my brain, but I had something wrong with it from like birth, and I've been doing some crazy shit over the last couple of years, and it fixed it. And the crazy shit that I did was like LSD. So, you might try that. I will say that you should be prepared for the aftermath. It did fix the problem that I had in my brain. It also made it to where I couldn't do much of anything for about a year. But it's the best thing I ever did. And that's one of those things like a lot of people wouldn't get is for me, a couple of acid trips changed my life and took me from a point where I basically lived in pain to a point where I just get to be chill. And that's one of the big differences that you see in me. Another one of the big differences is learning to like love and accept myself. That took a really long time. And I think a lot more people deal with this than you would believe it or not. My favorite part now is talking to my family members that obviously have deep-seated psychological issues, and they're like, "Well, I don't have that. I don't have any of these issues." Meanwhile, they're like 600 pounds and almost never leave their house, but they don't think they have a problem with anxiety and depression. The reason they don't think they do is because they're happy. And like I was too, or I thought I was. And like this is the thing is sometimes it's better to let those people just live in their ignorance. Motherfucker, I've done that twice now. I keep catching flies in my hand and I go to open it to see the dead fly and they're alive. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I'm just, becoming so compassionate I don't kill flies, or maybe my hands are so weak from hormones that I don't kill flies anymore. I don't know. It could go either way. My arms are getting skinny and I look hot, to be honest. Like, I still have some weight to lose, but hormones are the best decision I ever made. It's one of those, like, I think I have a genetic condition. I could go into what that is, but I really don't want to. And I think basically I never had hormones. That's half of why I'm so big. Because I'm like one of the biggest people you'll ever fucking meet. And half of the reason for that is the genetic disorder, I believe. It's one of those that if you never have puberty, you never receive the signal to stop growing. And it happens to a lot of things. It's one of those, like, you know, what makes you think you have a genetic disorder? And like every doctor I talk to won't even fucking like address my concerns because I'm a crazy trans person. I couldn't possibly know what I'm talking about. Here recently, I had my mother go to my doctor with me, and they've started treating me a lot better. My mother is a doctor herself, and apparently, once they know that you're not a retard, they actually will listen to you when you talk. And it's sad to me that my trans sisters don't have a mother to step in and be like, yes, you'll give them proper medical care or else. How many trans women in this country can't even get fucking treatment because of this shit. And when you're like, oh, this isn't a big deal or whatever, it's not a big deal at 10. You don't need hormones at 10. If you have some of these disorders later in life, like, you really need some of these hormones at some point. And the discussion needs to be, at what point is that? Is that 16? Is that 13? Is that 18? I don't know. I would say that given some of the ramifications of the choices of these medications, it should probably be 18. But given the nature of the disorders, there are cases where it should definitely not be at 18. And like, this is the weird shit, man. Like, I would have been much better off if I had started getting hormones in middle school. But I didn't live in a world where that was even a fucking remote possibility. And like, I think there's a whole lot of conservatives, like my friend Matt, Never Enough Ammo, that like they aren't even willing to consider the other discussion because it has to do with fucking children or whatever. And like, as someone who was a child and was dealing with these issues from birth, I don't know, it seems like this is going to involve children. And I think that's like the big misunderstanding here, maybe between the right and the left, is that like people like Matt see these people as going after their kids, and these people are seeing Matt as abusing the fuck out of 10% of their kids. And like, this is the battle back and forth. And I'm not saying either side is right on that. All I'm saying is both sides just want what's right for kids mostly, except for evil fucks who are trying to like engineer our society, I think. And like, some of this is like they want to breed people out for whatever reason. They don't want you having kids. They don't want you living your life. They don't want you doing what you're doing. And like, half of the reason that I'm willing to take hormones and shit for being trans is because I'm pretty sure I'm already sterile, A, and B, I needed to, and C, it's one of those like, one second. It's one of those like, if I'm going through this and I'm having all these conversations, if I could talk, conversations that have to do with this on some level, I think it's disingenuous of me to not tell my audience. And I wanted to transition, and there's no way that I could do that and not include that in what I'm doing. And some of that is partially just to show that I exist. I think a lot of people don't get why I'm so upset. I'm so upset a lot of the time about politics because I'm me, and both sides of the issue basically attack me at all times and then ignore my existence whenever it's inconvenient for them. In a lot of ways, I think I'm representative of a lot of the American experience. My family's been in this country since 1620. We came here as indentured servants, and we ended up in Oklahoma marrying Indians. Why? Well, I think the thing that got us in the boat in 1620 is the same reason we ended up in fucking Oklahoma. And that's, Oklahoma was the last place in the lower 48 that was still free land when it was opened up. I think my people always just wanted to be the fuck away from the English government, basically. And to a later extent, the American government once they started becoming like the English government. That's what I see now when I see America is they're a bunch of fucking redcoats. Let me reinterpret some world events for you. World War One started the death of the British Empire. World War Two almost killed it, and then America stepped in and took over, basically. This is still the British Empire, but now instead of being led by England, it's led by America. And we've damn near conquered the globe. Like, there was no one left on the planet that could really oppose us. Where do you go when there are no more worlds to conquer? That's kind of what happened to our society in a way. Like, our society was bred for conquest. There's nothing left to conquer except for things that are pretty much unconquerable, like China. And like in a way, we've conquered it because we're doing business with them. That's the key to America: is either we come in and shoot all your fucking politicians and then put in our own politicians and say that you're free, or we do business with you. And either way, we win. And I think that's like the real thing that nobody gets about America is that at the end of the day, you're doing business with a man with a gun. Like, he's being real nice right now, but you're doing business with a man with a gun. I don't know. I wanted to make a video about something, and I hope this was interesting to someone. I feel like a lot of people think that I like forced the trans shit on my friends or some shit. In reality, I was just going through this and doing this and being me. I feel like I don't know. I was welcomed there, so I fucking mentioned it. And to be honest, I kind of figured it would help some people to see someone like this that wasn't trying to fucking castrate their children and wasn't trying to take their guns and wasn't trying to do all this crazy shit. It's one of those you need to get that this is a real thing, that these people really exist, that some of your best friends are this, that you say things all the time that they wish you wouldn't say. So, thanks for watching.